think didn't Rabbits play 2 Sword of Feast and Famine? So it's
Rabbits
very
did play
close.
2 Sword of Feast and Famine.
Again, it's the so there's 1 Day of Judgment, and Rabbit's playing 2 Sword of Feast and Famine. So yeah, it's very similar. It's like another. He looks like he's playing 4 Spell Pierce instead. Like so, basically a Spell Pierce in place of Sword of Feast and Famine.
Yeah.
But otherwise the same list. Oh, he's got a Bellerin in the main deck.
Ken Adams is playing this big red deck, which mixes the 2 lists. The other list was a Contagion class Tumble Magnet list. John Jobs' list was more of a Kodolpha Phoenix based list with Eye of the Pilgrim's Eye. I almost said Eye of the Pilgrim.
That works too.
And one of the cards that I see in Ken Adams' list that I love, is 2 Cyclops Gladiator.
That's what I was thinking.
Now,
I saw that.
I was working on a list with this. I tried out Cyclops Gladiator in the sideboard, and I liked it, but I did not have the courage to main deck it.
Yeah, that's a card when it was released. I loved it. So looks like we're already started here.
Mountain versus Island Preordain.
Yeah. White border mountain. Can you not get a hold of black border lands? Really?
Maybe he likes it. Oh, we got another Jace there. Another Jace.
Oh, well.
Now, Ken Adams, his big end is Inferno Titans, Kodolpha Phoenix, and Chandra Nalaar. Turn 2 Mountain, and we see Stoneforge Mystic from the other side. For Ken Adams' burn selection, Ken Adams is running 4 Lightning Bolt, 3 Arc Trail, 2 Slag Storm, and 1 Comet Storm. Now, I'm running 1 Comet Storm in my build. I gotta tell you, with Contagion class and with Everflowing Chalice, it's great. It's just incredible.
I was actually curious about that, and it's good to hear you've actually played with it, because that's a card that was, when we saw it be spoiled, it was very interesting, but nobody really plays it very much. So
Tumble Magnet.
There's a Tumble Magnet.
Yeah. We've got a dead Stoneforge Mystic from Lightning Bolt at the end of the turn.
Yeah, Ken looking like in very good shape right now, but it's early.
Now, one of the things I was finding with the red lists that I was building with this, that depending on how you have it built, you can really overwhelm Cawblade. Now, the problem is that they have so many options to really push back on you. For example, Sun Titan is a big deal, and for that matter, games can just get away from you. If you've got Into the Royal, especially, and this deck does have Into the Royal, we get a Tectonic Edge from Ken Adams after a Preordain on Colosso's turn. 4 mana is a key part of the game here. He can start off with Koth, or he can go on into Cyclops Gladiators. Calosso, wanting to stall the game out a little bit, on his turn lays a Tectonic Edge and kills the Tectonic Edge of Ken Adams, which cannot activate, seeing as Calosso now has 3 lands. A Mountain from Ken Adams. Says go. Tumble Magnet sitting, waiting in the wings. Looks like another Tectonic Edge in Ken Adams' hand. Here comes 2 mana. Cawblade. I see a Lightning Bolt. I see Chandra Nalaar. I see maybe a Sphere of the Suns. I'm not sure. And there's a Tectonic Edge. He says go. Yeah, the thing about the Comet Storm is that it's fast enough because of its instant ability to be able to be useful early, but in the late game, it's devastating.
Yeah, and it's one of those cards that I think when I first saw it, I was like, it's kind of like Fireball. Why is this mythic? I think there's I think it's much better than Fireball. And,
right. Stoneforge Mystic hits play. Getting Mortar Pod. Mortar Pod, by the way, a very actually powerful weapon in this matchup. Just because you can put +1 toughness on your creatures, and that can be significant, particularly when you put it on a creature that makes it harder to be able to use your arc trails to be able to get things chopped down. Right.
It's funny how you don't really think of it that way, how Mortar Pod's mostly there for its Mog Fanatic ability, but the +1 toughness, it's relevant.
The ability to knock down a Koth from being able to go ultimate also is significant. End of the turn, we see a crashing of Tectonic Edge into Glacial Fortress. Ken Adams draws. got a lightning bolt in his hand. I think he's got Chandra. I'm not 100% sure that that's Chandra, though.
I didn't see it. Is that? It does look like Chandra.
Yeah, we got Chandra, lightning bolts, maybe 2 Chandra even. He's thinking about tapping out here for the Chandra, which could be dangerous if Calosso has a land. He says go. The tumble magnet does do a lot of work here, just to hold off the sort of feast and famine doing anything too particularly scary. Very similar to the blue-white control decks we were talking about before, Ken Adams does have access to Slag Storms, which is kind of the red Day of Judgment.
Yeah.
And so it can do the same trick with Tumble Magnet, Contagion Clasp, and Slag Storm that the blue-white Venser decks can. And now we finally see a Comet Storm for 2, it looks like, or pardon me, for 2. End of the turn, drawing out a Spell Pierce. And Adam's not happy about that. He's going to try to follow up with a Chandra, though. When you get Chandra in play, particularly with a Tumble Magnet to back it up, wow, it is disgusting. This matchup does not like Chandra, and there's a Spell Pierce, meaning that Stoneforge Mystic can still activate and still put a equipment into play if he wants. There it is, sort of Feast and Famine hits play. The Tumble Magnet's going to start having to do work if Calosso wants to make it, so. And there we go. Sword. Inside combat, the Tumble Magnet tumbles down. There is another Chandra, I believe, in Ken's hand here, though.
Yep, there it is, right on the top. Ken certainly likes the white borders.
There's a Chalice.
There's a Chalice.
Late to the party. And there's a Koth.
So he can go Chalice Koth here if he doesn't fear a Spell Pierce.
He's like, do you have a Spell Pierce? No? Okay.
No, he's got,
give me a second.
Looks like Gideon Squadron Hawk Mana Leak I saw in his hand, in Colosso's hand.
And we got Jace here on the other side of the table, looking at you.
Apparently that's the new tech. Wear a hood.
Chalice
Everybody's
for 2.
afraid of Jace.
What this is doing here, this is threatening. Hey, I'm going to turn off your Mana Leaks. I'm going to turn off your Spell Pierces.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
The tumble is down to 2.
Now we've already seen, a lot of now the Tumble Magnet goes down to 1. And
what do we got there? Is that a Gideon?
Yeah, it was a Gideon.
That's a Gideon. That's really problematic right now for Ken Adams. Even if he lays a Planeswalker now, the Gideon can 0 and then play Murderer.
Yeah, that's
What we want to see right now, if we were Ken Adams, we'd want to see Contagion Clasp.
Yeah, that's actually where I was going a little bit. But Contagion Clasp seems like such a great card right now with just the proliferate mechanic, with Tumble Magnet, with Everflowing Chalice. Now, in New Phyrexia, we already know we're seeing Hex Parasite. So I really wonder if the window is closing for these kinds of strategies or the synergies where if people are going to start playing a lot of Hex Parasites just to really beat Planeswalkers and mainly Jace, is there going to be a lot of collateral damage for cards like Tumble Magnet and like Everflowing Chalice.
Koth goes up to 4. Koth makes a mountain attack Gideon. Gideon shrinks down to a 4 himself. It's a lightning bolt in Ken Adams' hand. Okay. With only 1 token left on that Tumble Magnet, Gideon can kill Koth. Stoneforge Mystic can go a long ways towards it. And there's our another Hawk. The number 2 on the Everflowing Chalice.
Just gonna update it with pen.
Okay. Contemplating his turn here. The Koth is really dangerous. If that Koth goes ultimate, the game will fall apart for Calosso. Tumble Magnet taps. Looks like Calosso did not go for the Gideon attack. Ken thinking at the end of the turn if he wants to kill a bird, I think. Bolts you. Going for the Gideon. Gideon goes down to a 3.
We are now taking class for today's Q&A event at 3 p.m.
Now a Koth Mountain can actually threaten to kill the Gideon. And if you add in a Golgotha Phoenix, that actually will definitely kill Gideon.
Tiago, if you order from Bravo Pizza, Tiago, come on up to the main stage.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Draft number 4. $10 draft number 4 to the secretary, please.
1, 2. He's thinking. He's got Chandra. He wants to play Chandra. Yep, he lays Chandra. Chandra pokes the little guy. The Koth goes up. And the mountain attacks Gideon, killing Gideon. And now Chandra and Koth in play. Tumble Magnet is exhausted. This will give an opportunity for Calosso to hit the last card out of Ken Adams' hand if he wants. Leaving Koth and Chandra back there seems kind of scary.
It does. It's unfortunate that once Tumble Magnet loses all its counters, Proliferate doesn't work very well. It just doesn't work at all.
Here they come. He's trying to figure out where to send everything. Ken Adams has an army of red planeswalkers. One at the Chandra. I think that the loyalty on Chandra is down to 2. I can't quite tell.
Yeah, it looks like 2 coins on here. Yeah.
When we find out what from our spotter, we'll be able to find out.
4 counters on Chandra.
Okay, so we got 4 and 4 for our loyalty. Another Gideon in play for Calosso. Ken thinking. There's a mountain. Chandra pokes away at the guy. Gideon down to a 4 or a 2. And killing the Celestial Colonnade. no cards in Ken Adams' hand. One of the things you're seeing in Ken Adams' list, interestingly, without Pilgrim's Eye, Pilgrim's Eye does a couple of things that is particularly interesting from the John Jobs list from Grand Prix Dallas-Fort Worth. It makes the Golgotha Phoenix, which is currently in Ken Adams' yard, much more active, and it also does a great job of protecting your Planeswalkers. Mortar Pod. Gideon getting to be a part of the party that ends up killing Koth, and that's all that Ken Adams has now. It's over. On to game 2.
But I should do it just like a team.
I expect it wouldn't be surprising if we
guess I could've just
saw
tried to
Cunning
level
Spark Mage make a stand
That's
here.
actually-
He has Ricochet Trap in his board, and I have to imagine it's partly for cards like Mana Leak.
Yeah, Cunning Spark Mage obviously was the tech in the Spark Blade decks, just to fight mirror matches.
Brittle Effigy is kind of an innocuous card, but one of the things that Brittle Effigy accomplishes, Brittle Effigy can take care of a Gideon that's attacking.
That's a good point, yeah.
We saw this a couple of times with John Jobs. I remember John taking out. I can't remember which player that was under camera, but one of the players we've seen a lot in the Star City Games events. No, it was Gavin Verhey.
Oh yeah.
Gavin Verhey losing in this style of matchup. Gavin with Cawblade, and his opponent John Jobs with a big red deck, and it was largely on the back of Brittle Effigy. Brittle Effigy taking care of Gideons when it would have been important for Gideon to do something.
Right.
And it wasn't like Gavin Verhey walked into the on-the-board Brittle Effigy and was like, "Oh, you got me."
Right.
No, it was just that Gavin had to attack, and the Effigy was there, making the Gideon seem not so exciting.
Yeah, it's just basically it shuts down that final ability entirely. I know back when Scars was first coming out, there were players trying to build. I want to say that Patrick Chapin even was working on some sort of machine red deck, which is what these kind of lists remind me of, where using a bunch of artifacts and trying to win with Koth. So good to actually see this strategy start becoming more and more popular.
It's actually worse.
It seems like a fun
If they're
kind
upside
of
down, if they're minus, if they're
fun kind of deck. Nice to see mono red doing something different than just being completely aggressive.
Calosso has access to some powerful cards for this. He's got 4 Flash Freeze. He's got 2 Divine Offering, which he might not realize are good, but if he has paid attention to this list, he might know that it's going to be very valuable against Everflowing Chalice, against Contagion class Pummel Magnet. I wouldn't be surprised to see those in there. He's a very good player, so I can see him figuring that out. Jace Bellerin is a possibility just because there are so few cards that Ken Adams has to actually deal with it, that he does not mind just putting a Jace down and drawing a card and then having it suck up a card in return. 2-port Firewalker. The interesting thing, though, is that cards like Spell Pierce and Mana Leak, which you'd normally take out in this kind of matchup, are actually quite powerful here. Flash Freeze, though, might just totally make those other cards seem less useful. Okay, we've got our opening hands. See a Contagion class that Ken Adams wanted so desperately last time. Looks like a mulligan from Calosso. Ken looking like he's got a little bit of a smile on here.
That deck did look fun. He's in the cover, sorry.
And Calosso re-entering the Jace phase.
Nobody listens.
Figures maybe that'll help
We
him
can do a date or
draw a better opening hand.
Well,
maybe.
I don't think he had his hood up when he drew his opening hand, and I think that's why he actually had to mulligan.
Yeah, I will if you want.
Definitely be,
We all know his game.
definitely a hit now.
Okay. Is that a double mulligan? Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh. That hood didn't help.
The thing about it is that once you step away from what you should be doing there, having your hood up,
I don't think that's very good.
you don't just get let off the hook.
And what's funny is those cards are only on that guy.
Okay.
Actually, everybody should be coming out. I agree.
For those of you just joining us, we're just about to start game 2 of round 4 here with Calosso Fuentes on the left and Ken Adams on the right. Calosso rocking the blue-white Callblade, and Ken rocking a very interesting big red list with Koth and Artifact Mana.
Okay, there's a turn 1 mountain, turn 2 island, or turn 1 island, turn 2 ratchet bomb gets spell pierced, and there it is. There is a Stoneforge Mystic. Contagion Clasp hits the Mystic. No third land for Ken Adams. Calosso says go after laying a land of his own. There's a Lightning Bolt there for Ken. Tumble Magnet as well in his hand, but no mana. And Calosso sacrifices his Arid Mesa, gets the Plains. Goes for the sword. Lightning bolts. Calosso fakes a spell pierce, but says, "No, I don't got it." Or rather, I don't cast it. And here Calosso again casts Stoneforge Mystic, says go. Sphere of the Stuns. And go. This means that Calosso is going to be able to connect with that Sword of Feast and Famine. And Ken says, yeah, I'll take it. Discards a Kuldotha Phoenix. Divine Offering hits the Sphere of the Suns. I'm going to tell you right now, that looks to me like that's probably going to be all she wrote. Needs a land here. Oh, Tumble Magnets.
Boom! Come on.
Let me take that all she wrote back. The land to save the day. Fourth land. Plains Island. Tumble Magnet taps the creature. And Calosso says go. Oh, and there's a Chalice. A Chalice for 1 is actually really devastating here. At this point, if this Chalice resolves, oh, and it does not, he would have been able to start activating the Contagion class, making his Chalice grow every turn, as well as keeping the Tumble Magnet alive. In comes Stoneforge Mystic. Will it be tapped? Ken is thinking about it. He's only got 2 taps left. He does tap it. Ken needs a mountain here. There it is. Oh, wow. Goes for it. Wow. That was aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Lays the Koth. That could have been awesome if it had worked.
Yeah.
I think I would have just sat behind the class magnet myself.
I think he was just hoping to, maybe he's just hoping to run Colosso out of counters.
And in comes Stoneforge Mystic eating another card. Calosso has no spells beforehand, so actually Ken Adams is still in fine shape here. There's the 5th mana, and Ken Adams just lays it out there. Chandra Nalar. Yep, resolves. Let's kill that creature. And now he has Clasp Magnet Chandra. This is some powerful stuff.
such powerful board state for me to have right now. Just to Calosso's just basically sword. No, not just basically, just sword.
With a Kuldotha Phoenix in his yard, too, Ken Adams only needs a single artifact to get that Phoenix out. Okay, 1 to you, he says. Now, that adds a +1 to your Chandra. It looks like he took a coin off. So I'm not sure if that was inadvertent or if that was or if what they're using for their count there.
Yeah, it's tough to tell with the coins. Like, are they 1 counter each? Or?
Tectonic Edge in play now. Colosso looking for something to do here. Mana, Gideon. And even Gideon right now, unless a Divine Offering comes to take care of that Tumble Magnet, even Gideon is pretty weak. Ken Adams activates the Contagion Clasp at the end of the turn, it looks like. Oh, are we onto the main phase? My bad. Yep, here comes the Phoenix coming back. Oh no, Chalice for 2. Wow. Chalice for 2 and immediately activates the Contagion Clasp, making the Tumble Magnet go up, making the Chandra go up, making the... yeah. He puts the Chalice token on his Contagion Clasp, but there we go. Let's put it on the Chalice there. Chalice is now at 3. Colosso draws Jace. He's got his own contingent of Planeswalkers here. Jace goes for a Brainstorm. Let's a couple cards back. Tectonic Edges, Ken Adams Edge, and lays a Nexus. Gideon tries to attack. Tumble Magnet holds it down. Oh, maybe Gideon doesn't try to attack. Nope, looks like Gideon ups. Okay. 1, 2, 3. He draws. It's too late to bring back the Phoenix now. He could have brought back that Phoenix.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a misplay or if it was intentional.
Well, he had no cards in his hand, so...
Yeah. Seemed like a good time to bring it back.
Looking at the board...
He does have Cyclops Gladiator in his hand, I believe, now. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw.
Yeah, Gladiator is awesome. I'm not gonna lie. these two guys.
Both of them look like they're thinking, like they're in very bad positions.
Okay. I'm not sure what the Chandra's loyalty is right now, but I believe we've got 3 tokens on Tumble Magnet. We've got 3 on Everflowing Chalice.
That is a lot of mana for Ken Adams.
He does 1 damage. Who's he hitting? He's gonna hit Jace, probably. Yep, hits the Jace with his Chandra. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. And he gets the extra mana. Uses the Chalice. Ups his tokens. I believe we got 4 tokens on Tumble Magnet and some large number on the other one. And once again, the Contagion Clasp has the chalice tokens. I think that's intended
Yeah.
there for the chalice.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to figure out what is going on with that contagion.
Oh, yep. Gotta put it on my chalice. There we go. What does that do? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Jace is at 2, so if he bounces that Cyclops Gladiator, that puts Jace down to 1, which is a poke away from a Chandra killing it.
Yeah.
Bounces it back to the hand. Activates Ink Moth. Activates Sword of Feast and Famine, I believe.
With all these proliferate mechanics, or not all these, but just the contagion classes. Playing those, why not play like 1 or 2 copies of Inkmoth Nexus for Ken? I know he wants the mountains to maximize.
I'm trying this deck out in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You can't push that much red in here. The most that you can run, I tried, was 2 Inkmoth, and even then, it's sometimes antithetical to what the rest of your deck does.
I see. Seems like a good thing to have, just in this case, like where he's got the contagion class online proliferating. But yeah, maybe that's just.
Gideon attacks Chandra, knocks Chandra down really far. It's just actually very hard to end up having your ability to kill him with poison even be relevant.
Right.
Okay, there's the Cyclops Gladiator in his hand still.
Yeah.
And tap that chalice for 4, I believe. Four mana. Still not bringing back his
it's just
his Phoenix. I think he's just forgotten about it.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. So there is the Gladiator once again.
You really need dice. I'm done there. Yeah.
Okay, using that clasp to pump everybody up a little bit.
Yeah, we really need
The poke kills the Jace, as we talked about
That's
before.
exactly what you called, yep. So Calosso plays a Sea-Chrome Coast. Looks like he's tapping 4 for probably another Jace, I guess. Yeah, there it is. That's the last card in Colosso's hand. It's
It's pretty good, though.
yeah,
pretty
it's a
That
good
means
good
that
card to have as the last.
He can
yeah.
bounce that Clops. He can. He does not have enough mana to do everything here. I was gonna say that he could actually potentially kill off the Clops from hand or kill off the Chandra, but he does not have the mana to do everything.
So Colosso Brainstorm's probably the best play you can do right now, being empty-handed. So it looks like he moves this. Oh no, what did he do? Oh, he activated the Inkmoth Nexus. I was trying to predict what he was doing just from the face cam, which is a little tougher to do. I just saw him pick up a card and move it, and I thought he was moving the sword, equipping it to Gideon or something. But instead, the Inkmoth becomes a creature and then gets tapped by the Tumble Magnet. Alright, so Ken with a, was it a Slagstorm in hand, I believe?
Yep.
And a
Another tumble.
Yeah.
That's just so devastating.
Yeah, that's pretty absurd. With Tumble Magnet, Contagion Clasp is completely ridiculous.
And now we have some more useful counters there with dice.
Hey, dice. Sorry, that'll help us figure out what is actually happening on those permanents.
Okay. Chandra pokes. Probably knocking down Jace again. I just have to say, I mean, if Ken had remembered that he had a Phoenix in play, this.
Why is Gideon? They don't have enough dice for Gideon now? There's only 45 permanents that need dice on the board, but...
Slagstorm. Then we got the Contagion class.
Yeah, that will get rid of the Jace.
Pushing everything up. And the Cyclops hanging back on D. Oh, he's like, go, wait, attack. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't he +2 Gideon?
Yeah.
Kind of had to attack.
He was required.
Exactly.
Preordained, looking for something.
Yeah. And I see Island Smelters?
I think I see cards I don't want.
Yeah. I see a Shuffle. Not a Shuffle, a random draw. Been playing with Ponder too much.
Another Jace? Little Jace?
Yeah,
Little Jace!
Little Jace.
Yay.
There's one main deck for Calosso, but he had one in the sideboard as well.
Okay. And Gideon, looking at what he wants to do with Gideon there. Looks like he has a +2 there. Maybe. Nope. Maybe a murder. Gonna assassinate the... yep. Kills the Cyclops. Maybe looking in the graveyard will remind him that there's a Golgotha Phoenix there.
Maybe it seems like it's such an interesting card.
Golgotha Phoenix is one of the reasons to play this deck.
Exactly, and one of the reasons, the main reason to play the card is because it can come back.
Okay. I think we're gonna see the Phoenix. I think we're gonna see the Phoenix. Oh, look at this. Look at there it is. There it is.
That one's for Smitty from 60 Cards. He loves that card.
What does that do? Oh yeah, it comes back. We're at 7, it looks like, for Chandra. A stone's throw away from Ultimate. And the Phoenix comes on in. The core Firewalker with the Sword of Feast and Famine does not look all that exciting on the other side of the board.
Doesn't.
And I can't tell what that newest card was that just got put out there. Was that another Tumble Magnet?
Yeah.
Yep.
Again, Bravo Pizza is here for Adam.
I'm hearing more announcements about pizza than Magic.
If you're ever in the Boxborough, Massachusetts area, apparently Bravo Pizza is the place to go.
It's the only place, apparently.
Free plug for Bravo Pizza here as we go to Game 3.
That was really neat. That was I just think really interesting to see kind of the interactions between all those things in Ken's deck. proliferate. I think proliferates stronger than maybe people realize, or maybe it just wasn't good before, but maybe we'll start seeing a little bit more. But again, as I was saying before, this Hex Parasite, is that gonna kind of the collateral damage of people trying to deal with Jace with like Hex Parasite and things?
One of the things about being a red deck, though, a red deck is much less concerned about Hex Parasite because of the
that's
copious amounts of
Great
removal.
point. Yeah. Gut shot.
Yeah.
That was one of the cards.
An empty artifact or empty anything that has tokens, though, can't be refilled.
Chris Marshall, Justin O'Keefe, and Jason Jacob. Your legacy win box is waiting on you. Please report to the MSA.
So one of the things I discovered when I was playing this deck is how much I don't care about Court Firewalker.
And we were talking about it a little while ago, but you were talking about Kargan Dragonlord being a nice answer to it. There are no Kargan Dragonlords.
Well,
here.
this is a different deck, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Here we've got our Tumble Magnets that are the thing to think about, right? And pretty much a lot of this matchup boils down to, is there 4 mana and is there Tumble Magnet plus Contagion Class?
Right.
And if so...
Yeah, they're already underway. They're moving fast because the time limit's getting...
Stoneforge Mystic, the first play from Calosso Fuentes, getting a sword. And on the other side of the table, I think we're going to see an Arc Trail.
I see Contagion
Ooh,
Class.
I see Contagion Class.
And there's no flowing Chalice. It's
Chalice
the other
for
card
one.
I saw. So, seems like a safe time to play the Chalice.
Spell Piercing Colosso's hand.
So,
No third land, I mean.
Yeah, no third land for Colosso. That's rough. He did have the White Bitter Blossom, I think I heard it being called, the Stoneforge Mystic, but he did not have the mana.
Let's see if Ken's over-aggressive here again. Last time he was a little over-aggressive and went for a Cough.
Right,
and almost paid for it. But here he might go with the Arc Trail.
Looks like he's going for Arc Trail.
I hope that he goes that
fantastic.
direction.
There it is, yeah.
2-1.
Safe from the multiple spell pierces, it looks like in Colosso's hand. And spell pierces and mana leaks. He's going to have the mana leaks.
And here's probably a class that's going to hit the table.
Yeah.
And Lloyd.
And he also keeps Colosso from dropping the sword that turn.
Yep, that's actually incredibly huge. Colosso, Divine Offering there, and no attack because 0-1.
That was nothing.
Now tapped out, this means that Ken has an opportunity to make that Cough actually work.
Yeah.
Oh, and a Chandra.
There's a Cough.
Yep, in for 4.
Really angry Mountain. Mountains in
Land would be useful.
There's
a Mystic.
Mystic.
He's like, ah!
Yeah. As much as you want a Stoneforge Mystic
What is this
early,
stuff?
you don't want it at this point.
Say go. He's like, I would be doing okay if I had a land.
Yeah.
Now, what happened, you'll notice that Colosso started losing when he took down the hood. He stopped being Jace. You can't just start being Jace whenever you want.
Yeah, Jace is, can't disrespect the Jace though.
Class hits the table, and he says, does that say? Oh,
Yeah.
Spell Pierce.
He's going to double Spell Pierce, he's going to have to.
Pay the 2. Spell Pierce. Okay, you got me. You got me.
So he's just stripped 3 counter spells out of Colosso's hand, which were pretty much the only playable spells in Colossus' hand besides another Stoneforge.
Cough at 5.
Yeah.
That's going to be it as soon as... unless there's a Celestial Purge that Colosso finds, it's over.
Alright, so...
And Ultimate. And it's his birthday.
Yeah. I think I'll move this Cough into the graveyard.
What does that do? I lose the game.
Pretty much.
Let's shoot down your Court Firewalker. Let's spend 4 mana. Put a Cunning Spark Mage into play and invoke.
Wow.
Oh, okay, that's that.
I love to see Cough's ultimate happen. It rarely happens, it seems like, but